Stories of women's infidelity. Monica 38. Why did I cheat on my husband, had sex with another? I realized that I didn't want to live with him anymore, spend my maturity and old age, and nothing could be glued together. Emptiness. If the horse is dead, get off. That horse was deader than dead and already smelled pretty bad. I shuddered from the grinding of the key in the lock when he opened the door. At that time words and showdowns ended. And why clarify something that no longer exists? I even remember the morning when I decided. I poured coffee into a Turk, the foam did not rise, then it boiled over, I was ruining the coffee. I poured it out. The second, the third. And then the pack of coffee ran out, I mechanically crumpled it, said, "That's it. Absolutely everything." And I realized that it was not about coffee. I told my husband and left for another city with a child. My parents had an apartment, we started living there. He didn't fully believe that I was serious. He came supposedly to visit the child, but he climbed into my laptop. All the tabs were open there, social networks too. He read everything in a couple of hours. I was absent at that time. My mother is a person far from the computer. She didn't warn me, didn't even understand. Then he called, said that we need to meet, talk. Like if I don't come, he'll take the child away. He took me to a forest plantation, said that he would kill me to get out of the car. I got out, looked into his eyes and said, "Okay, go ahead if you can." The agonizing seconds turn into minutes. I don't look away. He looked away first. Deafening silence, no one around. When I got home and turned on the computer, I saw that he had made a photo of my lover as a desktop wallpaper. Then he tried to make my life hell and is still half-heartedly trying, but he failed. Olivia 32. I cheated on my husband because he was tormenting me with jealousy. He always thought so. And it seemed so good that he started keeping an eye on me. Eventually, his suspicions became more specific. He started attributing an affair to me with a very specific person, and I am stubborn. If you think so, let it be true. And I turned my gaze to that very man. Done. 8 months later I married him. Emily 35. I was in an unhappy marriage and I confess I cheated on my husband. My lover was also married. Everything was bad from all sides and I poured out my soul on one thematic forum. I was young, stupid. They somehow exposed me and wrote to my then husband. Like, "Here, read what your wife writes. Here is the nickname, here is the evidence." Poor husband. He suffered for a day, then he presented it. I don't know where I got this cold-bloodedness from. Really. But I smiled and said, "Honey, I work part-time as a forum troll. I get paid for it. I stir up interest in the site." He, not being a fool, said, "Show me the payment for this." And just a couple of months before that, I got a part-time job doing translations. They paid me for it online. So I presented it. He believed me. How I came up with this and how I kept a stone face, I don't know. It's all bad, of course. But he was so sad. Jessica, 43 years old. We had a child. After almost 10 years of marriage. A wanted and long-awaited child. A year later, my husband ate too many pears and declared that I had gone effeminate, that no normal man would want me. And he is normal, although a bit overweight. I took the baby and went to my parents. At least for the first time during my entire maternity leave, I got enough sleep, about 8 hours straight. A month later, I went back to work. And after some time I decided to check on a normal man. Would he want me, such a fat one? It turned out that I am not fat. And everything worked out just fine. And not just once. And without all these tired headache. And in general, everything was quite romantic. A nice hotel, excellent wine, a wonderful road home, just the two of us. After some time, my husband noted that I had really become prettier. And he even said something about family reunification. This was when he came to be with the child. Yes, exactly in those words. No, I have not been with him since then. Despite But we only got divorced about 10 years later. The reason is trivial. He arrived in the morning earlier than agreed to take his daughter for a walk, like an exemplary Sunday dad, and I had not managed to return from my lover to my parents' house by that time, and my grandmother gave my daughter to her dad. When Dad asked his daughter, "Where is Mom?" the child answered, "What do you mean where?" As usual, she's spending the night at Jim's. She'll be home soon. I arrived half an hour later and found a look of thought on the face of my now ex-husband. He demanded a marriage certificate to file for divorce. But we divorced later. About a year later. And not at all because I had a lover. It's just that my husband once again let me down in relation to my daughter, and my patience snapped. I filed for divorce. But he refused to give me the marriage certificate. I had to restore it. Of course I did. Lauren, 27 years old. How did I cheat on my husband? Actually, I was going to live happily ever after with him until death do us part and all that. And suddenly he made a scene of jealousy out of the blue without the slightest reason. On my birthday. And on the phone, I was away at my parents' house. He ruined my mood terribly. And literally in